Hello everyone. Today we're going to be taking a look at a new robot from Mova, the Z60 Ultra Roller Complete. This is a very advanced robot loaded with all kinds of cutting-edge technology and innovative features. Today I'll go over the features of the machine, put it through all kinds of cleaning tests, see how it holds up after exaggerated cleaning jobs, and give you some maintenance tips to keep it cleaning great. This model I have is the Z60 Ultra Roller Complete, which includes an extra accessory kit with a generous amount of extra bags, filters, brushes, and big bottles of cleaning solution. I've never seen so many extras included with a robot. It also comes with a 3-year warranty, and the product feels well made. Let's take a look at the Z60 Ultra Roller Complete, starting with the base station. In the top there's 2 tanks, one for clean water and one for the collected dirty water. The front cover pulls off, and inside there's a self-sealing disposable bag and the cleaning solution compartment. This compartment holds 2 different solutions, a general all-purpose cleaner and a pet smell deodorizer. They're both concentrated and made to last a long time. There's lots of options for the cleaning solution and how the robot uses them in the app. At the bottom of the station, where the robot washes the mop roller, there's a sink that pulls out, and I would check this from time to time and clean it as needed. The robot will let you know if it needs attention as well. Here's the Z60, and it's loaded with features. It has a lighter on top that can recess into the robot when needed, giving it a lower clearance when cleaning under furniture. On the front of the robot, it has Mova's AI Smart Sight Vision System, a combination of cameras, sensors, and a headlight to help with obstacle avoidance and navigation, which on this robot is excellent. Underneath the robot, the Z60 has Mova's Hydroforce self-cleaning mopping roller. It utilizes 12 jets of clean water to actively clean the mopping roller while in use, so it's only putting down clean water to mop your floors rather than potentially rubbing already dirty mop pads all over your floor. Roller mops are my favorite setup for robots for this reason. The Z60's Maxi Reach mopping roller and side brush can extend for cleaning along edges and corners, and both work well and help overall coverage. The mopping roller has a special fluffing roller on the back to help keep the mopping roller from getting matted down during use. Another cool feature of the mopping roller is the Auto Shield, a guard that covers the raised mopping roller when cleaning carpeting. This keeps carpeting dry when the robot cleans multiple types of flooring. This Mova uses their anti-tangle Turbo Wave Duo brush, a true tangle-free brush system that delivers great pickup performance. The brushes are only connected to the vacuum at one end. As it picks up hair, it's fed down the brush rolls to one end and flung off into the suction path. This is currently one of the best brush roll setups available for any robot. The robot's main drive wheels are very quiet, and the Z60 can easily climb over thresholds using Stepmaster 2.0, an extra set of wheels which let it climb almost 2 inches over any barrier, and up to 3.15 inches if the threshold is in tiers like little steps. On the back of the robot, there's a tank for the collected dirty water, and the Z60 does a great job keeping the tank flushed and cleaned out, but you can easily remove it and wash it as needed. Finally, there's the dirt bin. I wouldn't mind if it were larger, but it's easy to empty if needed and access the filter for cleaning. Thanks to the smooth walls of the dirt cup, the auto-emptying on this robot works well. Now let's try the Z60 out, and let's first take a look at the obstacle avoidance. Using LiDAR and a suite of sensors called AI Smart Sight, the Z60 can identify a large variety of everyday objects and carefully avoid them. It recognized the shoes and the cord from the fan and dodged them entirely. This is great because if there's things like toys or miscellaneous objects laying around in your home, the robot won't mind the clutter, and it will just clean around it without getting stuck. For the first cleaning test, let's try the standout feature, the mopping. On my kitchen floor, I've put down a bunch of soy sauce and let it dry for over 24 hours to get stuck to the floor. I set the Z60 Ultra Roller Complete to mop this area 3 times with its highest water output. The mopping performance is best in class. The Z60's Hydroforce self-cleaning mopping roller presses down hard onto the floor with 4,100 pascals of downward pressure. The mopping roller is still very gentle, almost like a microfiber cloth, but this downward force really helps it scrape stuck on dirt off the floor. Behind the mopping roller, the Z60's innovative fluffing roller keeps the mopping roller from staying matted down, which according to Mova gives the mopping a 30% performance boost. It got nearly everything, all but a few remnants of the largest thicker dried-on spots. I ran it again after this test, and it scraped off the rest. Sometimes after these mopping tests, I'll use a manual mop to finish cleaning what the robot couldn't get, but this time I didn't have to. If you're serious about robot mopping, this robot performed better than any I've tested. For the next test, let's see how it handles a free-for-all of kitchen crumbs while also mopping. In the app, Mova recommends the feature Mop After Vac, where it will dry vacuum the floors first, then go back and mop the floor afterwards, all in one setting. So that's what we're going to do this time, have it vacuum, then mop. This should help with the maintenance side of the robot because it's vacuuming up the dry debris first before wetting the floors. The hard floor cleaning performance of this robot is great. Using the Maxi Reach brush, the Smart Side brush can extend to clean along corners and edges, grabbing debris it otherwise wouldn't be able to reach. Scatter was minimal, but I wouldn't mind if the side brush spun a little slower on hard floors to minimize it further. With 2 passes, it picked up nearly everything from this huge mess, a near perfect result. Once it's finished vacuuming, it'll return to the base station to prep the mop roller. The Hydroforce roller will first edge mop the room, deploying the Maxi Reach mop, which can extend the mop up to 4 centimeters to hug edges. It uses a laser on the side of the robot to gauge distance from walls, and it can reach incredibly close to baseboards as long as the area it's cleaning isn't too complex. Straight edges, it's going to hug perfectly. But if it's mopping around a ton of complicated furniture, it'll use the Maxi Reach mop to clean as close as it can. The Hydroforce mop did an excellent job, only missing a couple crumbs overall, and the floors are scrubbed and mopped clean. Next, let's see how the Mova cleans carpeting with an extreme hair pickup test. On this red rug, I've grounded a bunch of fake pet hair, and I've also ground in longer hair of 3 different lengths, 3, 5, and 8 inches. Because it can as a feature, I set the robot to vacuum this area 3 times at max power. The Z60 wanted to vacuum the rug separately from the hard floors, which is something I'm seeing on newer robots as I do these tests. The Mova Z60 is all done cleaning up this red rug, and it looks like it did an outstanding job. This just lifts open. Pull this out. Let's pull all this out. Look at that. Amazing. And so there's some of the hair is packed into the filter. That's to be expected. And now let's see what it missed. So that's all that was left behind. So really, it got nearly all of the fake pet hair, and it got all of the long hair from the wig. So that's amazing. So that really did an outstanding job. Now, granted, I had it run full blast in a three pass run, so this is the best it's going to do. And now let's see how the tangle-free brush is held up. This just pulls off. And there's a little bit of fake pet hair flying around, but look at that. There's no hair wrapped around the brush rolls at all. So there's a little bit of lint built up in the end. You just clean that out occasionally, but that's excellent. So the result was perfect. There's just a little bit of that fake pet hair. It's a very fine, fibrous material. So overall, though, that was outstanding. And one of the best performers from a robot I've ever tested. So it's great that this dual brush setup is both tangle-free and the pickup's really good.
Resume returning to the dock. Start auto empty.
Here it is auto-emptying. I wanted to note this because the dock is nice and quiet. I've tested docks that are very loud during auto-emptying, but this one is very quiet. Now let's see how the Z60 Ultra Roller Complete cleans wall-to-wall carpeting. On my living room floor, I've put down a mixture of oats, food crumbs, and rice, light to heavy particles. I set the Mova to vacuum this room twice at full power. This is the robot running at max power on carpeting, and it's still fairly quiet. On all but the highest power settings, the robot is incredibly quiet. One feature I love is that when cleaning carpeting, the mop roller raises 14 millimeters off the floor, and the auto shield covers the mopping roller, preventing the wet roller from touching carpeting. This shield innovation is actually something I thought would be a good idea for mopping robots years ago, and this is the first one I've tested with the feature, and it works great. This helps it leave great carpet lines since the mopping roller doesn't contact the floor while cleaning rugs, and it doesn't get carpeting wet or cause any cross-contamination. The robot instantly switches everything as it crosses over different types of flooring. It's very smart. The robot features excellent navigation. The Z60 Ultra Roller Complete will first border the room, then vacuum the rest of the room in nice straight lines. When set to just vacuum, the side brush can be turned on or off when cleaning carpeting, and when enabled, it helps with edge cleaning. While I would prefer if the TurboWave brushes were wider or offset to the edge cleaning side, the robot is very thorough and coverage is excellent. Another great feature is that you can have it vacuum rooms multiple times per clean. After one round, the Z60 will continue and go over the carpet again, this time going a different direction. This helps with overall pickup and it will work the carpet mat better. I use this feature often. One last thing I want to discuss is the battery life. I have it mop and vacuum at full blast doing 2-pass runs per room, and I get about 75 to 90 minutes per charge before it returns to the dock to recharge, then pick up where it left off. All of this is highly customizable though. If you run the robot at low, eco type settings, it can run for over 3 hours per charge. It's all dependent on how you want it to clean, and since most of my home is carpeted, I want it to clean as well as it can every time it runs. The overall result was excellent, only missing some oats along the edge and a few crumbs in the middle of the room. Because it has to rely on the side brush completely for edge cleaning carpeting, like most robots, edge cleaning could be better. But otherwise, it did amazing. Like the mopping, the carpet cleaning performance of the Z60 is one of the best I've ever tested and at the very top of what's available today. Alrighty, I've put the Mova Z60 Ultra through a variety of cleaning tests, and let's see how the robot's holding up, and I'll show you some of the recommended maintenance on it. So let's first take a look at the dock. So this lifts up, and there's your clean water tank, and then here's the dirty water tank. Let's take a look at this. Yuck. So you can see all that disgusting soy sauce water. And now let's pull the robot out and we'll take a look at the sink underneath and see how that held up. Because when I did the cleaning test, I first had it vacuum, then mop. Of course, when it's mopping, it's not vacuuming at all. So if it missed anything, that means the mopping roller is going to be grabbing any leftover dirt. From those extreme tests, there is some debris built up here, so I would just vacuum this off occasionally. And then let's take a look at the sink. So here's the sink, and there is some particles on here, so you want to take this apart and clean this regularly, but the reason that's there is because I first had it vacuum, then mop. When mopping, it's not vacuuming at all, and that was such an extreme test, the mopping roller still managed to grab some stuff. So that's all just hanging out there, and that's okay. The easiest way to maintain these robot vacuums is to use another vacuum to clean them off. You can wash this as needed, or you could just tap this off in the trash can since it's dry. But you can see the buildup on it, and I would occasionally take this apart and wash it too, but nothing to it. I just took a look inside here underneath where the sink is, and that's all clear. So that's all working just fine. When you put this back in, there's a little rubber pump hose that sucks the water out of the sink, and you want to make sure that that is tucked in right here. It just sets in just like this. It's a little rubber tube. When you put the sink back in, it kind of hits a stop. It's hitting that little pipe. So when you set it in, you just got to make sure it's tucked in correctly. Look, the bag's got some dirt in it, and it looks like the bag, there's a little bit of dust outside of there. That's unfortunate. It might be because of how hopefully I have it seated right. Yeah, it looks okay. When you're in here, if you notice anything like bag leakage, that might be because I already pulled it out. So that might be why. But I would check in here, wipe this out occasionally too if you see any dust when you empty, when you go to refill the soap tanks. These still have a ton. So these are really concentrated, and each bottle is going to last you a while, which is great. So there's a few things on this. From those tests, the mopping roller has already cleaned itself, but you can remove this and wash this if you want to. There's a button on the side you push in, and then it lifts up the brush roller, and you can pull this out. Now, after those cleaning jobs, that's holding up really well. Admittedly, this is just a hair damp. It doesn't smell because it was cleaned with soap, which is good. I might set this to run the dry cycle a smidge longer. While you have this apart, if this is really bad, I would wipe this out as well. And then this brush roll just sets back in. And then your brush rolls, these you just lift up and they lift out. Those are still nice and clean. You could wipe these down since they are getting a little dusty. And then just, make sure you keep the ends on this clean. And then the housing here, this has some crumbs built up and you can just sweep this out. You can wipe this out. What I like is all of this is really easy to get to. Over on one side, there's the little air path here where it collects all the dirt. Make sure that stays nice and clear. That just sets back in. When you put the bottom plate back on, make sure that the 4 tabs are tucked in here. It's really easy to not do this correctly since the bottom plate is so large. But it won't work nearly as well if you don't have that tucked in right, and that's good to go. And then while you're down here, there's various sensors around the outside of the robot, and I would wipe those off and clean them as well. This comes with extra side brushes. You can remove this small screw and take them out, but you can also wipe these down and clean them as needed if they get grimy. What's cool is when mopping floors, this lifts up out of the way and doesn't spin. So it shouldn't get all disgusting if you're cleaning up like a spill and just have it set to just mop. Now, being a mopping robot, this has a dirty water tank on it that collects all the dirty water, and it just pulls out.
Use water tank of the robot removed.
If needed, you can open this up and you can clean this out, but look, That's flushed out very nicely with clean water, and this is after I was wondering if it was going to have like oats and stuff collected in it, and it doesn't. You can rinse this out as needed. Admittedly, this smells from the soy sauce, so I'm going to rinse this out soon, let it dry, and pop it back in. But that's all good to go, which is good. And then the final thing, the robot's dirt cup and filter. This opens up, and here's this. Now the filter itself, you'll notice, just like many robots out there, the filter gets packed in with dust, and the robot self-emptying can only clean it so well. So let's move this aside. Now the auto-emptying, though, worked really well considering how much that I've put down recently. So it does self-empty well. I do wish it cleaned the filter better, but they're all like this. And this is also after I've only been doing vacuuming, then mopping, and you still have to maintain the filter. That doesn't eliminate the problem altogether. It is what it is. Now, quite a bit of fine dust and whatnot still trapped in there. Robots only have so much suction to begin with, so you have to regularly manually clean this, because if not, it's not going to have nearly as much power. With a robot like this, I would probably check this a couple times a month if you're going to be running this daily, maybe weekly, if you really want to keep up on it. But you can just vacuum it off. The other thing is this came with 4 filters. So what you could do too, these are washable. You could just pop a new filter in, wash this one, and just have it on deck. So you could quickly cycle these out if you wanted to and have a rotation going. Just swept this out really quick. This is washable as well. But of course with any of this, just let it dry 100% before you put it back in. And then the filter has a notch in it on the one side. It can only set in one way, just like that. And then close that up. And then that's really it. There's not much to it. So then I had mentioned cleaning off the sensors. There's a suite of sensors on the front of the robot as well. Wipe those off occasionally and just make sure all of this stays nice and clean and not dusty. So there you have it. I was expecting this robot to be impressive, but I didn't expect it to be the overall best performer I've ever tested. What really matters, its ability to vacuum and mop are both best in class. It has a ton of features and technology built in to allow the robot to clean thoroughly and navigate homes effortlessly. The recessing flex scope LiDAR, Stepmaster wheels, and Lift Pro chassis allow the robot to clean under lower furniture and climb onto thicker rugs and over thresholds easily. The dock is smart, quiet, and does a good job emptying the robot's dirt bin. It washes the mop roller with hot water and cleaning solution, then dries the mop roller, keeping it clean and ready to go. My favorite features include the Hydroforce mop with its downward pressure and how it can capably clean stuck-on messes. I also really like the Auto Shield tech, which protects carpeting and keeps the mopping function out of the way when vacuuming rugs. The wide mopping roller is great, and I like the extending maxi reach brushes for edge cleaning and how quiet both the dock and robot are. I also really like the visually pleasing results it delivers after vacuuming a room. It's very satisfying to see the great results. I have a few faults with the machine. I would like on the next model if they tried a wider brush roll setup for improved edge cleaning on carpeting, or if the brush roll was offset to one side to help with edge cleaning. It's a shame because it hugs walls so closely, but can miss things along edges due to this design limitation. Now that we have extending mop rollers, an extending brush roll for edge cleaning carpeting would be a game changer. My only other real complaint is that the filter in the robot's dirt cup will still require regular cleaning from the user. The auto-emptying does a great job emptying the dirt cup, but the pleated filter will still get packed in with fine dust over time and require regular manual cleaning to maintain performance. Robots are getting more powerful, and this Mova has enough suction power to utilize a low-maintenance cyclonic filtration setup, so hopefully we'll see more of that in robots in the future. It does a great job taking care of itself, but it's still not maintenance-free. Simply put, this is a best-in-class robot. It's powerful, very quiet, super smart, and can handle all types of floor cleaning well. The software app is excellent and offers endless cleaning options and customization. I wasn't expecting this robot to be as good as it is. As of making this video, there's some strong competition, but this just might be the very best one. If you're hesitant about robot mops and vacuums, this would be a great one to try out, as it sets a high bar, and you'll be able to see how remarkably helpful having a good robot around can be. I always enjoy reading your comments. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing, and don't hesitate if you have any questions. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.